maps y'all have there at P5, and they happen to be on sale. You know, I mean, so it's you need to go in and tell them it's $2 off a map right now, and you can. I mean, a map's important. It's very important.
If you're going to go, you need to know one of the most important things, as Eric mentioned, obviously the route, multiple routes, but you need to know distance and you need to know elevation, and you need a topographic map for that. The maps that we have, they're from DeLorme. They're called gazetteers. They're the big red maps that usually cost $20. We're giving you 10% off if you mention the radio show. Here's the thing. You have to know how far you're going to walk. You need to know how far, if you're walking uphill, how long is it going to take you to cover 3 miles or a mile? It's important to know that. How much is it going to be with a pack, a full pack? Make
sure you have the right shoes.
You're going to
don't grab your flip-flops and leave.
Right. You're going to want to know where you can stop safely along the way. So if I'm walking from here to Mont Eagle, think of all the things. There's a lot of us that have driven that route. Some of us may drive it every day. When you start going those routes, think about the problems that you can see. Are there roads that may parallel that may help you get away from there? Because the highways are going to be packed with people, and they're not always going to be good people. Maybe you can hook up with a big group and be walking, but the best idea is to stay off those main roads. And you do that with a good quality map. If you get a highway map that's free, it's going to show you some of the routes between the smaller towns, but it may not show all of them. And that is the key. You don't necessarily want to walk on surface maps. You may want to walk on paths. And those DeLorme maps, they will even show deer trails if they're big enough. That's very important. And again, I didn't really say this in this segment, but you can't depend on your GPS. It may not be there. There are alternate.
Whether it be on your phone or a handheld GPS.
Right. That system may go away. We don't know. If there were some sort of electrical thing, either, and I say thing, but if it was an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, which is a weapon, a war weapon, then our grid could be down. But if it was a solar flare from the sun, that could also knock out our electrical systems.
And take the time to learn how to read a map. I know y'all, that's one of the classes y'all give, is how to read a map.
Yes.
And I'm going to say there's a lot of people, especially younger people right now, have no clue how to read a map. Now, I never learned to fold a map, but I can read a map, you know, and you need to learn how to read a map. It's not that difficult. It's just taking the time to learn like you would any other skill.
There's a lot of people that have never learned that. They've never seen a map other than on their phone or their computer. And I tell you, you can navigate the entire globe with just a paper map. You need a compass, or you need some other ways to figure out direction, because you want to be able to get back on track if you get lost. That's easy to do if you have a GPS. But if you just have a map and you're following without a compass, you may have some issues. You need to maintain your bearings at all times.
And I'm sure too that you're going to have your networking session tonight at 6:45. This is a good topic to bring up. You know, don't be afraid. Hey, look, I've seen maps, but I've never really learned how to read a map. I'm sure there's somebody there that can give you some pointers and kind of get you started on your way.
Come by the store for the network meeting, and when you come in and you turn to the left, and there's a big rack of the DeLorme maps. Look through them and tell me if that's not better than a map that you would get at the rest stop, the free state maps. These maps, they're kind of large. It's a booklet that is, I say booklet, but it's upwards of 100 pages. And the book is 14 inches tall and about 10 or 11 inches wide. And then it folds open from that. And then each one of the pages is about a half to quarter of a county.
And aren't they state by state?
You can, yes. Yeah. So if you buy just one book, you'll be mapping or buying the book for just Tennessee,
Georgia, or whatever.
Or Georgia, yes. Yeah. And if you have your route to get somewhere, if you're going from here, your bug out location is on Mont Eagle, you might want to have that Georgia map. You might want to have that Alabama map. You may not have to carry all of it. Maybe you just cut out certain pages for your route. But these are very important to have. So I can't stress enough. You always have to know where you are. And a map, a hard map, you can't live without it. And even when you get to your location, you're going to want to know what's directly around that location. in which direction you go. And if you have a map and you have a compass, you can find out where you are at all times. Very important to do that.
Yes, it is. And learning to read a map and having the right map, as Duke just said, okay, so don't just buy a Tennessee map. Well, I live in Tennessee. Well, like you said, you may have to head south. You're going to need a portion of the Georgia map. So buy the whole map. I mean, you're talking about, well, with $2 off, you're talking about $18. Is your safety, is your peace of mind, is your direction worth $18? If you say it's not, then come over here and I'll slap some sense into you, because it is.
And I tell you what, for today, if 10% is enough, I'll give you 25% off the Delore maps today.
There you go.
Today only. Come in, say you heard about the radio program, you heard about the importance of maps. Look through the map and we'll give you 25% off on those maps.
Man, that's like $5. Now you got a $15 map. I'm there.
So you get a map and a cheeseburger.
There you go.
Can't beat that. Okay. So what are you going to take with you? You got to put your gear, whatever you're going to take, it's going to have to go in some kind of bag. And if you have to carry a bag any kind of distance, you don't want it to be a duffel bag. You don't want it to be a suitcase, even if it has the little roller wheels on it.
Yeah.
Those are made for airports. If you ever try to roll one through a parking lot, getting to the terminal, you know that those things are worthless outside. You have to have a backpack. You have to have one that fits you. It has to be heavy duty. Even when you think about the light hiking backpacks, those are kind of big, kind of tall, but they're lightweight. And those are designed for people that are going to be out for a weekend or for a week, maybe. There's very few people that go camping with a backpack that go out longer than 7 days. You could be out indefinitely. So you're going to want a quality pack. And we offer one of the best backpacks that's out there. We have Eberly stock packs. You can find them at eberlystock.com. We're the only retailer in the area that carries the Eberly stock. It's a very good backpack. So what are you going to put in it?
We as P5 Preparedness, which is located on East Brainerd Road between 75 and Gun Barrel.
There you go. All right. So what are you going to put in it? We talked about navigation gear. You need to have a map. You need to have a compass. By all means, have a GPS as long as you know how to use it. You can use your cell phone, however you're going to do it. Very important, one way or the other. You have multiple ways to get that you know where you're going. Also, if you have a map or you have a GPS, you can program in waypoints, and maybe those waypoints are where you've pre-positioned some stuff. Maybe you've buried an ammo can with some provisions. Maybe it's fuel, maybe it's just water and food, maybe it's fresh socks, whatever it is. You can put stuff along the way, you can bury it, you can hide it, and only you'll know where it is. Another thing, even in the wintertime, you need sun protection. So sunscreen, lip balm, sunglasses, very important. What are you going to wear when it's cold? Well, you need some form of insulation. Maybe it's several layers of insulation. So jackets, a vest, pants, gloves, hats. Maybe it's a couple different kinds of hats. And rain gear, winter gear. There's different kinds of jackets. Even in the hottest days of the summer, you may want to wear a long sleeve shirt. We sell clothing that is permeated with bug repellent. So you don't have to spray yourself. You don't have to smell it, but they're long sleeve shirts and they will keep the bugs off you. You need some form of illumination. And I say some form, but you need several forms of illumination. Maybe it's a headlamp. I recommend headlamps because that allows you to use both hands at the same time. Flashlights are very important, and extra batteries with a solar charger. You can get all those.
Everyday candle too.
Absolutely. Yes. Very good. Yeah. Great. Have a means to recharge those batteries, and at P5 Preparedness, we carry those solar chargers. First aid supplies. You need a first aid kit. You need to know how to use it. I would even put a tourniquet in there in case something catastrophic happens. You need multiple ways of starting a fire. Matches, a lighter, maybe it's a magnesium and ferrocerium rod, very important. And you want to have those in a waterproof container. And you'll want to have a cook kit. Maybe it's a multi-fuel kit. That's what we recommend, because if you're out there trying to start a fire with wet sticks, you're in trouble unless you know how to do it. You're going to want some sort of repair kit for everyday emergencies. Always a knife, always a multi-fuel, multi-tool, and then repair kits for maybe your stove or your air mattress or your tent. always food and water. At least have 3 days of food that you can stretch to 7 days if you need to. So a couple of things in pouches, and then smaller things. Hydration, you're going to want a water filter and some either Nalgene bottles or canteens. And think about needing 2 gallons of water per day. And then you need some sort of shelter, a tarp, a tent, a bivy sack. You'll need a reflective blanket. Those are most of the basics. So come to P5 Preparedness. You can talk to Seth, Keith, or me. I'm Duke. We're open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 7, 1309 Panorama Drive in Chattanooga. We're off of exit 3, heading toward Gun Barrel on East Brainerd Road. You'll see the big Army green deuce and a half on the right. You can call us at 602-2175 or email us at info@p5preparedness.com. Check out our website for sales, and then also go to Facebook and you can learn about our classes there. This is Duke Nukem with the Patriot Prepper Show. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect lots of sunshine out there through the afternoon. Still on the cool side, highs 48 to 50 tonight. Clear, cold and frosty again overnight.